Well, hello, my sweet friend. Andy Murphy, your rock and roll shaman. Whew, and we're getting ready for 11/11. I want to be so fucking excited about 11/11 because I recognize the potency of this portal that we're going through. And yet, fucking Scorpio, October kicked my ass. And it just has felt really hard in this humanness. Not that I'm not grateful, not that I don't live in really fucking cool spaces, but the human, the mom, the heart, the body, it's all feeling real hard. So rather than me missing out on this beautiful portal, I decided to do as any good shaman does and go to spirit to see what wants to be shared. So today we're coming at you with a message from Sheshat. More than just a message, we will also have an activation for you. So we're going to come through first with the teaching of how to best use and why this 11/11 portal is especially significant. And then we will be doing the activation. And with the activation, what Sheshat is encouraging is practice this a little bit on your own. And then on 11/11. If you can move into this space so that we can join in community, we can join in the collective and feed this through the Akashic field. Good idea. So do it as much or as little as you want, but we are here in a place of service to love and to move you into bigger spaces of you, consciously. Choosing to be conscious in this. So let's spend one moment and we're going to invoke Sheshat. So the messages she comes through with are coming through me, not from me. Sheshat, of course, is one of the Goddesses of Ascension. She's one of the doorways of Ascension, creator of the Akashic Records. Galactic Goddess Extraordinaire. Thank you. And it is her to whom I answer in this life. It is her call and her... it's the fulfillment of her. It's why I show up. The fulfillment of her embodied on this planet is why I show up. So, no pressure. Thanks. So the teachings first from Sheshat. 11/11 is a portal of activation. You'll read this from several channelings and teachers, especially anything having to do with ascension. This is a portal of activation. As we go through the 11/11, we are participating in an activation code, playing in that Akashic field, activating the Akashic field, moving through this doorway and kind of penetrating, interesting, she says penetrating that veil in order to move into new spaces. This is also an opportunity for galactic alignment. So play with the idea of the High Priestess, specifically the High Priestess card, where she does stand between these two pillars. The pillars are polarity, good and bad, black and white, darkness and light. And what's happening is as we go through that 11/11, we are moving through these new portals of initiatory action. But we are also, in this specific case, she will say, with this last 11/11 occurring in 2019, this is the last 11/11 portal of this decade. Because we're moving into 2020. And if you've been listening and paying attention, 2020, holy shit. Hopefully we are really going to be moving to the other side. And I say that cautiously just because human is hard. So we want to use this doorway of 11/11 with great consciousness, with great choice, with great awareness. Because not only are we going to be going through this human polarity or duality, good and bad, black and white, but we're also going to be going through it galactically. So it's going to be this idea of earth and heaven. So it's going to be more than just the two-dimensional polarity. It's actually going to be four-dimensional polarity moving into 5D. She just dropped that in. Super cool. So between these pillars, between this 11/11, you stand in the paradox. This is part of what October was getting us ready for, is this paradox. And we want to move through it very consciously. Thanks. Thank you. Sheshat would like me to add resolutely that we really are in a battle of consciousness. We are at war. We are in this place of conscious evolution, but what we're actually walking through is revolution. Revolution is war. What we are doing has never been done on this planet before. We've never made it this far. And in that regard, holy shit, that's why we're all kind of struggling, right? We don't have teachers. We don't have guides. Nobody's showing us how to do this. So where do we find comfort? We find comfort in the mysteries. Go back into the mystery schools. Go back into the traditions. Go back into that place of paradox. This is where you can be comforted right now because we don't have guides and teachers who are showing us how to do it. And what are we at battle with? Well, it is a war for you to stay awake. It is a war of consciousness. And it's very, very easy, not only to stay asleep, but to go back to sleep, right? Oh, God. There are days that all that we want to do is zone out or self-soothe and watch some Netflix or smoke some weed or masturbate wildly. And then there are worse addictions than those. I really sat in my addictions this weekend. Mine happens to be consumerism right now. I quit smoking. So that was the real addiction, the addiction that was hurting my body. I've taken that out, and so I've been soothing instead with buying new things to cover this meat suit. And I see the absurdity of it, I really do. But I don't want to be addicted to anything. I don't want to be unconscious anywhere, so we're going to be using this time of 11/11 to say, hey, I choose to fucking be here and I choose to stay awake. Because the distractions right now are tremendous. How many thousands of shows do you have access to at any moment in time? How many videos on YouTube could you be watching? Even this, thanks. Hey, Instagram. Even as you scroll through this is a fucking distraction from staying awake. So don't judge those distractions, but just know, again, we're in that paradox of it. I'm going to choose to engage in this. I'm going to choose to step back out. This is the war as it's going on. It's a war for your consciousness. It's a war for you to stay awake. So, I want you to stay awake. We're going to come back and do the second video, which is going to be the activation of this. So this part was the teaching. We'll have the activation, and we'll meet you with Sheshat and her blessing on the other side.